Hello my friends, welcome to your plus size yoga for balance class. My name is Natasha, also known as Nourish Natasha. If you're new here, welcome. If you're old here, welcome back. This is obviously going to be a balance focused class, so we are going to work on a ton of balancing postures. This is a class that's specifically designed for plus size people or people in bigger bodies. I try to make all of my classes as accessible as possible for people in all bodies and offer a ton of variations. But I kind of just like that decided to create this series of plus size yoga specifically for, again, people in bigger bodies, because I know what it's like to go to a studio and feel like the odd one out. Usually when I go to the studio, I'm the biggest person there, I'm the instructor, and it just feels really weird. So I wanted to create a safe space for people of plus size bodies, of all bodies, to come and have a safe space to practice and be given cues that work for you and your body. So that's what I do here. I encourage you to have any props that you need for your practice. Specifically for this practice, we are going to be working on balance. I do recommend you have blocks, so I have mine at the front of my mat. You can use books that are that general shape and size. I strap, mine is behind me. You can use a towel or a blanket if you don't have a strap. And for this practice, because we're working on balance, if you know that you're pretty wobbly and maybe you don't have too much balance, and maybe this is your first time trying to work on balance, I recommend using a chair. I have my office chair there. Don't use a rolling chair, use a stable chair. You can use a folding chair like a dining room chair, or use a wall. A wall is also a great prop just to balance on. Have that nearby, have it with you. Any other props that you find you need for your practice, like pillow, bolster, blanket, anything that you need, I want you to just set yourself up for success and have it around you. Everything I say is an option, not an order, so just remember to listen to your body and do what feels good for you. Also, don't forget, if you enjoy these classes, if you want to support me and my channel, I do have a YouTube membership. We do live classes every week. We do live tarot readings. We do live workshops. It's super awesome. It's only $9.99 a month. And there's a really great community. You also get like a private Discord chat to make friends and special access to a lot of stuff. You get access if you really want to start learning yoga. There's a 30-day beginner's yoga challenge in the membership. So as soon as you sign up, you get access to those classes. It's 31 classes actually, because there's like a bonus class. So that is an option. But of course, I will always put out these classes for free. I try to do one every week. Because I believe in making things accessible. So that's what we do here. All right, we're going to get started. So we're going to get started standing. We're going to get started standing at the top of our mats in our Tadasana mountain pose. So you can bring your feet hips distance or wider if that feels good. We're just coming to stand at the top of our mat. Again, we have whatever props that we want for our practice around us. And when you come to this Tadasana, you can have your hands at either side of you. Palms are facing forward, really energetic hands here, so active fingers, kind of imagining you're shooting energy out from your palms. Now we're standing nice and tall here, as if someone was pulling a string from the top of your head. You can keep your eyes open or closed, whatever feels right and good for you and your body. And as you come to this standing posture, just start to bring your awareness to your breath. Start to bring your awareness to the right here, right now, to the present moment. And using your breath, or pranayama, breath control, is a great way to do that. So something I like to do is just visualize my breath as it goes in and as it goes out. It sounds kind of silly, but I literally picture like a cartoon nose in my brain, and I watch the breath, the prana, go in and out. As you inhale, perhaps you feel the shoulders rise, the chest expand, the belly expand, taking up space. And as you exhale, a gentle release. You can start to deepen and lengthen the inhales and exhales. Elongating them, perhaps making them more exaggerated. And as you breathe here, start to take inventory of the mind, the body, the soul. Do a little check-in. Ask yourself, how are you feeling? Notice any tensions, blockages, constraints that might be coming up. And we're just being aware of them. We're just acknowledging them. We're not practicing judgment or attachment. we're just being an observer here, observing our thoughts, observing things that might pop up in our bodies or our minds or our souls, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. We're just being an observer here. Now, as you continue to breathe and you continue to check in, start to notice those feet that are on the mat. Maybe wiggle your toes a little bit, maybe lift up all 10 toes, and then bring them back down to the mat, really feeling that grounding energy. Our feet on the mat are usually kind of a focal point of our balance when we're in standing postures. So just notice how it feels when you kind of encourage those feet to press deeper into the mat. Maybe squeezing the mat with your toes, really finding that stable base. And then if you'd like to, you can close your eyes here. And I want you to notice how your balance kind of shifts when you close your eyes. So when I close my eyes and I kind of just let my body go kind of willy-nilly, don't mind my dog Jack barking, it's his favorite thing to do. I kind of let my body relax and I kind of feel a gentle sway in my body. My feet are stable on the mat, but I can feel my body kind of swaying from side to side, maybe forward and back. And just notice that feeling. And then perhaps open your eyes. And I want you to focus your gaze or your drishti on something that is not moving. So I'm staring at a crystal on my desk. It's a big old honey calcite tower. And it's not moving. It is a still object. And that gives my brain, my balance, something to focus on. So you kind of feel that wobble start to maybe get a little lighter, maybe not be as obvious. And we're focusing our gaze or our drishti on something that's not moving. And now what I want you to do is kind of engage your whole body. So engaging the muscles in the body. You feel that core engage, like you kind of took in a breath. Feeling that core engage. Maybe feeling the quads engage. You can bend into your knees just a little bit here. Those really active hands. Just feeling all the muscles in your body kind of tighten. And notice how when we have that energy, we stop swaying. We get very strong. We're standing tall here. We're very grounded. We kind of don't have as much sway anymore, as opposed to if we're just kind of standing here not engaged. When we engage everything, we're engaging all the bandhas. So the bandhas are kind of like energy locks inside the body. We're engaging all those things. We're kind of tensing up our body, engaging our core, focusing our gaze on something that's not moving, and you'll feel a little bit more balance. So remember that as we go through class today, to focus your gaze on something that's not moving, to find that kind of engagement of all the muscles that kind of helps you find that stillness. And I'll be cueing that throughout class. Now you can take a big inhale here, in through the nose, filling up the chest, filling up the belly. Don't be afraid to push that belly out, take up space. And open mouth, exhale. You can kind of shake it out. I know it feels funky. If you've never done it before, kind of engaging all those muscles, you're like, whoa. So I just wanted to practice that with you. So I'm going to be cueing that throughout this practice so you can help find that really stable balance. So we're going to invite in some movement now. We're going to start with some half sun salutations. So on the inhale, you can lengthen the arms, reaching them up overhead, really lengthening the spine, lengthening the body. On the exhale, you can fold forward over the legs and find a forward fold. Now you can widen your stance here to honor and make space for the belly and thighs. And just find this forward fold here for a moment. Take a few breaths here. You can gently sway from side to side. You can grab opposite elbows. Just kind of ragdolling here. Giving ourselves a little release in the low back and the hamstrings. You can gently find stillness. You can bring your hands to your shins or to blocks and inhale, press into them for a flat spine, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, gently rise up to standing, arms come overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, really reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, last time here. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. And exhale, hands to heart. Take a moment here. Notice the warmth starting to fill the body. Maybe your breath started to quicken a bit. See how you feel. And then we're going to continue moving. So now we're going to incorporate a chair pose. This is going to be kind of our first balancing posture. So for chair, you can keep your feet hips distance or wider, or you can bring the feet in together, big toes to touch with a sliver of space in between your heels. If you bring those feet in together, it's going to be a little bit more of a balance challenge, but you can always keep those feet wide. Ask yourself what feels good for me and my body, and then go there. So we're setting up for our Utkatasana chair pose. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up overhead, and exhale, bend into the knees, sink our butt, sink our hips into that imaginary chair. So I'm bending into the knees. I can still see my big toes over my knees. My pelvis is tucked, so I'm not sticking my booty out. I have a nice straight spine here. You can keep the arms up overhead or bring the hands to heart center and breathe here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing. And exhale, hands to heart. All right, we're going to do 2 more chair poses and just kind of continue to challenge our balance as we go on. You can stay right with this first variation of chair, or if you'd like to add on some stuff, just follow me. So we're going to inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sink into your chair. Now, option here to find airplane arms. So my arms are coming behind me, squeezing my shoulder blades together behind me. Gaze is forward. I'm still sitting in my chair. I'm going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And exhale, hands to heart. Now this last one is going to be kind of the most challenging balance-wise. We're going to come up onto our tippy toes. So again, you don't have to do this. You can stick with our first variation. You can also place your block underneath your heels, so you're not just hovering on nothing. So go there if that's what you would like to do, or you can join me and we're going to hover on our tippy toes. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sink into your chair. Again, arms can stay extended. You can bring hands to heart or even hands to hips. And then just lift up onto those tippy toes, bringing the heels up off the mat, and you're going to feel that wobble. Now here, take that moment to focus your gaze on something that's not moving, to engage your body, to find those kind of muscle locks inside, and just breathe here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to standing. And exhale, hands to heart. Ask yourself, how do I feel? How did that feel? But just take a moment here. You can take a big breath in through the nose, filling up the chest, filling up the belly. And open mouth, exhale. All right, so now we are going to play around with some one-legged balances here just to prep us for some future poses. We're going to work on warrior 3, tree pose, and eagle pose. But for now, we just kind of get the feeling of what it's like to stand on one leg. So I encourage you to have your chair or to have a wall, or again, to have your blocks here in front of you, because those are all super helpful props that can kind of get us to start to feel what it's like to balance on one leg. So your hands can come to your hips. We're gonna start with the right foot. So I'm gonna kind of bring my right foot to center and put all my weight into my right foot. And I'm gonna come to the tippy toes of my left foot. So I'm just lifting my heel up off the mat. Now, immediately, once I'm here, I'm gonna focus my gaze on something that's not moving. I'm gonna kind of engage those muscles, engage those locks, engage my core. And maybe I'm gonna lift that foot up off the mat. Now, you can place your foot onto a block if that feels good, or you can hover it. Notice how your balance shifts. Keep that right foot pressed into the mat. Maybe continue to lift that leg so that knee comes directly out from the hip, creating a 90-degree angle here. And take a moment to breathe. Now maybe you stay here. Maybe you kind of want to feel a shift in balance. This is what we're going to do when we work on our Warrior 3. Maybe you hinge forward, keeping the knee bent, and bring it back. My head is staying in line with my spine. I have a nice straight spine here. Core is engaged. I'm just leaning forward a bit. You can keep a micro bend in the leg that's still on the mat. And then I'm gonna hinge back up to straight and maybe lower my foot down, shake it out. You can always grab onto your chair here. You can use the wall for support. We're just testing around to see how this balance feels. So we're gonna do the other side. I'm coming to center. My left foot is gonna come to center now. I'm gonna come to my tippy toes on the right. I'm gonna focus my gaze on something that's not moving. I'm gonna see how this feels here. And then maybe I'm gonna hover that foot. Again, you can place the foot on a block. You can grab onto your chair, lean against the wall. Maybe lift that knee up so it comes directly out from your hip. Finding your stability here. And then maybe you wanna play around with leaning forward, bringing that foot back, keeping a straight spine. And then maybe hinging back up and releasing gently. You can shake it out. All right, we're gonna do that one more time on either side. So starting with the right foot comes to center, come into the tippy toes of the left foot. Maybe lifting that foot up off the mat, maybe placing it on a block, maybe lifting that knee. I challenge you perhaps to maybe release your hands from your hips, maybe bring them to your heart center. Maybe find that hinge forward, bending into the knee a little bit, hinging forward, bringing that leg back. And then maybe inhaling back to straight and releasing down. Shake it out, we'll take it to the other side. Starting with hands on hips, left foot comes center, tippy toes of the right foot. Focusing my gaze, engaging my core. Maybe lifting that foot up, pressing my left foot down into the mat. Maybe bringing it to a block, or maybe hovering. Maybe bringing my hands to my heart center. Maybe I start to lean forward. My right leg starts to come back. I bend into that left knee. Keeping my chest, head lifted. Nice tall spine here. And then maybe I gently release and shake it out. So that's kind of the feeling for our Warrior 3. Warrior 3 is a balancing posture. Virabhadrasana 3, it's our balancing warrior. So we're going to play around with that a little here. So from standing, we're going to set up the same way we just were. I encourage you again to have your chair, have your wall, or have your blocks. Starting from standing, move back a little because it's kind of an extended posture so you can see me. So starting with the right foot, putting my weight into my right foot, lifting up my left heel up off the mat, gazing forward, focusing my gaze on something that's not moving, engaging my core, engaging my muscles, maybe lifting that foot up off the mat, Maybe lifting it up a little more so my knee comes in line with my hip. Maybe bringing my hands to my heart center. Maybe hinging forward slowly. And this time, see if you can extend that leg all the way back, flexing the foot, so having an active foot. Hips are square down towards the mat. And we're finding our warrior three. Now this is where you can grab onto a chair. You can have hands on the blocks. Just make sure you keep your chest lifted, your gaze forward. You can extend the arms overhead. Hips are facing down towards the mat. Your back foot is flexed. And we're balancing here, friends. Do it against a wall if you kind of feel yourself start to wobble. Play around, have fun, allow yourself to fall. It's called a yoga practice, not a yoga perfect. You can play around with the arms here. The ultimate goal of the warrior three is to try to get the head in line with the hips, in line with the foot. So when I'm coming to this extended posture, I'm trying to get everything kind of in one straight line. And play around with it. See how it feels. See what happens when you focus your gaze on maybe something else. See what happens if you want to. I don't recommend this usually for beginners, but see how your balance changes when your eyes close. Suddenly you're like, wow, I have no balance. And just play around, have some fun. And when you're ready to release, do so gently. So gently using your core to lift yourself up and release down. Don't want any slingshots here, don't want anybody falling. All right, we're gonna take it to the other side. Left foot to center. Right foot comes up on the tippy toes. Focusing my gaze, engaging my muscles, maybe hovering that foot, maybe lifting it all the way up, maybe hinging forward, maybe extending the leg, and finding my warrior three, playing around with my arms, playing around with my drishti, my gaze. If you feel that foot kind of start to wobble, really again, press it down into the mat. Like when we're in downward dog, we press our palms into the mat. Same concept, press that foot down into the mat. You can grab onto a chair here. You can use your blocks. Have fun. Feel the shake, the wobble. It's okay if you fall out of that. Falling is a part of the practice, I promise. And when you're ready to gently come out of it, we're going to slowly lift and release and shake it out a little bit. All right, my friends, we're going to take it on down to the mat and do some balancing work down there. So take a moment, come to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. You can plant your hands to the mat or plant the hands on blocks and just gently come down, bending one knee, bending the other, and coming to a tabletop. Take your time here. Set yourself up in a position that feels good so you can place a pillow or blanket underneath the knees. Shoulder, elbow, wrist will stack, hips stack over the knees. Now we're going to work on some balancing postures here, a bit lower to the ground. So we're going to start with a variation of a side plank. So I'm going to demo here with my left leg. You can start on the left or right, but I'm kicking my left foot out to the side like it's a little kickstand. I'm just going boop. I'm going to shift my weight over to my left hand and come to this side plank. Right arm extends overhead, right leg extends. Again, focus your gaze on something that's not moving. Engage the core. Maybe hover that right foot. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the foot and release the right hand. Come back to your table. And we'll take that to the other side. I'm going to kick my right leg out to the side like it's a little kickstand. I'm going to shift my weight over. Lift that left arm up. Find my balance here. Maybe hover that left foot. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release. Come on down to your table. These are great exercises you can do daily to start to work on that core strength, to start to work on that balance, and just, get yourself ready for all those balancing postures. So, next one is called a bird dog. This one is from our table. I'm going to give you a ton of options here. We're going to start with the right arm and the left leg. So, option to just lift up the right arm, or to just lift up the left leg, or both. You're going to feel that core engage. If you lift both, you're going to feel that kind of shift in balance. But test out one. Just test out lifting the leg first. Maybe test out lifting the arm first. You're going to feel a balance shift. So find where you would like to go. Again, one or the other or both. Wherever you are, your extremities are engaged. So active hands, active feet. Now we're going to inhale, lengthen, and exhale, bend the elbow, bend the knee, and try to crunch in your elbow to knee. They don't have to touch, but I'm squeezing here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Last one, really inhale, lengthen. And exhale, really squeeze. And go ahead and gently release to your table. Shake it out. We're going to take it to the other side. So this time is left arm, right leg. So perhaps I just extend my left arm out. Perhaps I just extend my right leg back. Or maybe both. Find where you want to go. And then we inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze and crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, really squeeze. And go ahead and release, shake it out. So again, you can add those to your practice every day to just continue to build that core strength, that balance. I recommend starting with 5 on either side and then working your way up. Now we'll take a little breather here in a wide-legged child's pose. I'm going to bring my knees as wide as the mat. I'm going to sink my hips back to my heels, and I'm going to lower down to the mat. Arms extend overhead, and I'm just going to sink in here. I'm going to get grounded. A key to balancing postures is the grounding. So allow yourself to get grounded in this child's pose. Notice all parts of you that are touching the mat. So perhaps lifting up all 10 fingers and then releasing them back down towards the mat. Squeezing the mat beneath your palms. Feeling the palms, the forearms, the elbows, the head, the chin, the chest, the belly, the knees, the shins, the tops of the feet are all touching the mat right now. And just bring your focus there to the grounding energy. We'll take a big inhale in through the nose, filling up chest, filling up belly, taking up space. Open mouth, exhale. One more really big inhale in, filling up a little more. And open mouth, exhale. On your next inhale, you can gently rise to a tabletop. And we're going to find our way back to standing. Now, you can get there any way you would like. I'm going to get there from a downward dog. So I'm going to tuck my toes and inhale my hips up and back to the wall behind me, pressing palms into the mat, encouraging heels down, but of course they don't have to touch. You can keep your feet wide to honor and make space for the belly and thighs, and just press that chest through the shoulders towards the thighs. Maybe find some movement here, pedaling out the feet, We're rocking the hips. We're shaking the head. Gently coming to stillness. Inhale, gaze to the top of your mat. And exhale, we're going to travel to a forward fold. So maybe some baby steps. Maybe a big step forward. Again, remember you can keep the feet wide. Finding our forward fold. Hands come to shins or blocks. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing. And exhale, hands to heart center. All right, my friends, more balancing postures are here. So we're going to play around with tree pose. Tree pose is kind of I don't know, I feel like I see it a lot on like Instagram. It's kind of like the quintessential yoga posture. It's a standing posture and it's a balancing posture. So we're going to stand on our mats, feet hips distance, hands on hips. We're going to start the way we started with our warrior 3. So we'll start with the right foot. So I'm going to bring my right foot to center. And again, I'm going to lift my heel on the left foot up off the mat. So I'm here. Gaze is focused on something that's not moving. My body is engaged. Maybe I just hang out here. Maybe you want to open that knee out to the side and bring that foot bottom to the inside of the right leg. Now, I'm not putting too much weight on my ankle. We don't want to put weight on our joints here. But you can hang out here. You can just gently rest it. Maybe you're like, okay, I feel good. I'm going to lift up my left foot and place it on the inside of my right shin. Again, not on the knee, not on the ankle, on somewhere where there's not a joint. And I'm going to hang out here. Next option is to bring that foot to the inner thigh. Again, avoiding the knee. Finding this posture, maybe starting to play around with the hands. Grow your branches. Allow yourself to feel that wobble and that shake. Allow yourself to fall. Allow yourself to laugh. And ironically, I'm looking outside my window at a tree and it's moving, which isn't helping my situation any. So I'm going to change my drishti to something that's not moving and see how that changes my stillness. How that changes my balance. Play around with it. Pressing that right foot into the mat. And when you find that you're ready to release, do so gently, no slingshots. Shake it out. How'd that feel? That's like the balancing posture. Let's try it on the other side. So left foot comes to center. Lifting my right heel up off the mat, hands are on the hips. Maybe I hang out right here. Maybe I open the knee out to the side and bring that foot to gently rest on the inside. Maybe I lift up to my shin. Maybe I come all the way up to the thigh. It's very hard when you have slippery leggings on. And from there, test out your gaze on different things. Close your eyes and see how the balance changes. Grow your branches. Try different things. Challenge your balance. And when you're ready to let go, do so gently and shake it out. All right, we'll counter this with a little fold here. So I'm going to come to a wide-legged fold. I'm going to bring my feet wide. Doesn't have to be super wide, just what feels comfortable. I'm going to inhale, reach, and exhale, fold over the legs. Now you can do what feels good here in your wide-legged fold. You can bend into one knee, bend into the other. You can sway here, you can shake out the hips. Listen to your body. What would feel right in your body in this moment? Now gently come to stillness. I'm gonna bring my hands to my hips. I'm gonna bend into my knees and inhale, use the core to rise. And then just gently come back to Tadasana, to standing. So now our last standing balancing posture we're gonna play around with is eagle pose. Now this pose used to be the bane of my existence because it does kind of require twisting in the limbs. I am 5'1", I'm very short. I am also plus size. My limbs do not do that. So I'm gonna offer you a ton of variations. I do recommend grabbing a block and just kind of placing it, place it next to you, in front of you, just somewhere where you can kind of access it. So starting from standing, I'm gonna place my hands on my hips. We will start again with the right foot. So I'm gonna bring my block actually over to, actually no, it's on the right side. All right, so I'm putting my weight into my right foot. I'm gonna come to the tippy toes of my left foot. Now I'm gonna gently bend into my knees. I'm gonna sink down a little bit like I'm sitting in my chair pose. I'm gonna cross this left foot around the right. So the eagle legs is a double cross. So usually you would cross at the thighs and then again cross the foot behind the shin. Again, I can't do that. I have big thighs. I am short. So this is fine right here. You can also gently cross at the ankles and bring that left foot to rest on the block. So this is fine. I'm hanging out here. I'm in my little eagle squat. Now comes the arms. So the left leg is on top, so my left arm's gonna go on top. I'm gonna inhale, open the arms like I'm about to give somebody a hug, and exhale, left arm goes on top, right arm goes on bottom. I'm gonna give myself a big hug here. Again, this is a variation of eagle that I like to take because I cannot find that double bind in the arms. I have a big chest, and it's not gonna happen. So, I'm giving myself a hug. I'm lifting the elbows, I'm keeping my chin and chest lifted, but this is eagle pose. Now, if you'd like to take the double bind, you can. I cannot. Very short arms, but I'm gonna listen to my body and do what works best for me, and I'm gonna hang out right here. And again, I'm gonna focus my gaze on something that's not moving. I'm gonna find my balance. And when I'm ready to release, I'm gonna do so gently. I'm gonna shake it out. The eagle's a funky one, but I just recently reincorporated it into my practice after years of being like, I hate that pose. We all have poses we don't like, you know? So coming to the other side again, same thing. I'm gonna place my weight into my left foot. I'm gonna come to my right tippy toes. I'm gonna cross that right leg over the left. Again, perhaps resting my foot on a block. Sinking down into my little chair. Inhale, arms wide like I'm about to hug somebody. Exhale, right arm comes over left. I'm really reaching for my shoulders. Lifting the elbows, keeping the chin and chest lifted. Or perhaps you can go for that double bind in the arms. And I'm gonna breathe here. And I'm gonna test out my gaze. If I close my eyes for a second, whoop, as soon as I close my eyes, I start to lose it. And then when I'm ready to release, I'm gonna do so gently, and I'm gonna shake it out. All right, my friends, we've done a ton of standing balancing postures. We've done some balancing down on the mat. Now we're gonna do it kind of from a seat. So make your way down to your mat. You can get down there any way you would like. You can flow from a vinyasa. You can just lower down like I just did. We're coming to our butts. I'm gonna get my blocks out of the way. I'm gonna bring them to the side because we'll use them a little bit for our cool down. I'm bringing them over here. So, boat pose, Navasana. This is kind of a seated balancing posture. Really great for the core. This is another one of those things that you can do daily to build that core strength, that balance that you need for all these other balancing postures. This whole class, if you're really working on headstand or upside down balances or arm balances, this is where you start. You start with the right side up balances, right? So for my boat pose, I'm gonna extend my legs out in front of me. Take a second to scooch some goodness out from underneath you. Feel my sit bones on the mat.
Now, I'm going to bend into my knees. I'm going to bring my hands to the backs of my thighs. And I'm going to lean back with a straight spine until I feel my core catch. You're going to feel that moment where your core is like, whoop. Okay? Core is engaged. Option to stay right here. Option to lift the hands up. So not gripping onto the thighs, lifting the hands. You can stay right here. You can hover the feet. You can straighten the legs. I want you to go find your edge, find where you want to go, and then we're going to hold. We're going to do this 3 times. So I'm finding my boat pose, and I'm going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to release into a forward fold, just your simple forward fold. You can keep the legs wide if you'd like, and just release here. How'd that feel? Was it shaky? Was it wobbly? It is okay. Wherever you were, definitely can feel the core warming up. We're gonna do that 2 more times. So I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna set myself up for my boat pose. Find what feels good. And I'm gonna hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, release, and fold. All right, my friends. Last one here. I encourage you to maybe challenge yourself, take it a step further, or of course, if not, no worries as well. I'm going to try a variation of boat pose. You totally don't have to do this, but it's one where you grab the feet. It's kind of one that I've been working on just for funsies. So go to your Navasana, your boat pose, and find your way there. And we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, release, and fold. That variation of boat pose has been a fun one. You can very easily kind of roll out of it, but it's just something I like to incorporate fun into my practice. So we're going to cool down here. So we're going to gently come down to our backs. Take your time. Gently release on down. And we're going to find a supported bridge pose here. So this is where our block is going to come in. Bending at the knees, bringing the feet bottom to the mat. My heels are up towards my butt. I'm going to inhale my hips up to the ceiling, and I'm going to scoot my block right underneath my sacral area, underneath that low back, and I'm going to hang out here. We've been doing a lot of core. This is a gentle release for the low back. You can bring the hands to the stomach if you'd like. Show your tummy some love. You can have hands on either side of you. You can even extend your arms overhead if that would feel good. And I just want you to breathe here. With this block kind of supporting us underneath our low back, we can find that gentle release in that lower core. I just had surgery on my abdomen, and it definitely, this is probably my first intense core workout since then. It's been about 2.5 months, and I'm definitely feeling it. Gently breathing. Now we're going to take this to a supported shoulder stand. So you're going to remain on the block, and you're just going to draw the knees into the chest and straighten the legs to the ceiling. This is our supported shoulder stand. Now if you'd like to take a full shoulder stand where you lift yourself up off the block, you lift those legs up, you are totally welcome to. This is an inversion. Getting the blood flowing in the opposite direction a little bit. You can point and flex the feet while you're here. Maybe roll out the ankles. Just doing what feels good. And gently, when you're ready, bend into the knees, release the feet down. You can lift the hips up just enough to scoot that block out from underneath you and release it off to the side. Now, for a final posture here, you can take twists, you can take a happy baby, you can do another bridge pose. Ask yourself, what does my body need right now? I love to do kind of a choose your own adventure in my classes because every body needs something different. So ask yourself, how am I feeling? If you maybe want some low back release, maybe take some supine twists. If you're like, I kind of want to get a little bit more into my hips, if you liked that variation of boat pose where you're grabbing onto the feet, maybe try a happy baby. You can also use a strap here. Maybe you just want to pull your legs into your chest and kind of give yourself a squeeze. Maybe you want to go right for your savasana. I don't know. Choose your own adventure, like goosebumps. Find what works best for you and your body. Like I said, happy baby is a great prep pose if you're trying to work on that boat with grabbing onto those feet. You can sway from side to side. You can straighten one leg and the other. Rocking from side to side kind of gives you that gentle low back massage. And whenever you feel ready, you can come to your savasana. Now, for your savasana, again, do what feels good. Remember to take up space because you deserve to take up space. So for your corpse pose, you can just sprawl out on your mat. You can do legs up the wall. You can find Supta Baddha Konasana for a little hip opener. So that's the feet bottoms together to touch, opening of the knees. You can hang out here. If you have low back issues, or if you find that when you find your savasana laying down on the mat, you have a gap in between the mat and your low back, I have two options for you. Number one is bending into the knees, knocking the knees into together, and then pressing the low back into the mat, taking your savasana here. Or option two is bending the knees, feet bottoms on the mat, taking the time to really tuck that pelvis so your low back touches the mat, and then extending the legs out. It'll kind of make that space a little bit less. You can also place a bolster underneath the legs, and that'll kind of press that low back into the mat. But find what works best for you. Once you're there, this is where I'm going to leave you today, my friends. I encourage you to spend at least 5 to 10 breaths in your savasana, breathing. And then let me know what you think. Let me know how you felt with this balance work. Let me know how it went. And that is all I have for you, my lovelies. Remember to spend some time here with yourself in your savasana. Send some gratitude towards yourself, to your body, to your mat. Give yourself a pat on the back. You came here to class today. You did amazing. And this is where I will leave you. I will see you next time, my friends.